Okay. It is May. My name is Taylor, as you know. And it is, well, it's not May, it's the 3rd of June. But I always make this a bit too late. Let's see. We don't need any introduction. We know what we're here. We're here to rank the stuff that I've seen or read. In this case, seen. Let's get to it. This was probably my busiest month because I had the internship in April, and I didn't manage to finish all the media that I was supposed to do that month. So it I had to do some during May instead. Um, yeah, but let's get to it. Let's see. What order do we want to take them? Because sometimes, I mean, we could start here, but sometimes that's not as interesting. We can do it. We can do it. And then if I feel like, if I get to one monster movie, then I might as well do them all. But we can start here. Sound Euphonium Season 3. We talked about it before. I have problems with the Yuri teasing part of the main relationship. We've talked about it before in the last video. In fact, if you want to go back watch that segment, so I won't, talk about it too much. That's not, the only thing the anime has going for it. I tend to find Euphonium a bit, as much as I love Yuki Hamada as a scriptwriter, although to be fair, he writes a lot of stuff. I just find Euphonium boring. That's what I do. I find it boring. I don't find its characters that fun or interesting. I mean, I like Kumiko. I like Reina. She's great. She's been lovely, actually. But then, I watch the other ones, and I don't really care about her or him. And she's been her struggle has been based, I don't remember the names, but her struggle has basically been, oh, I'm too good at the Euphonium, so I'm worried that, I'm gonna upstage people and alienate them as a result. There's this contest. There's only one Euphonium, either Kumiko or her. Oh, well, there's her as well, but who can do the solo? And she said, oh, but I should drop out of that. I mean, I just got to the school. I'm a transfer student. You'll be working for this for 3 years. Yada yada yada. I'll say I'm maybe an episode behind. I think I'm an episode behind on the seasonals, although I'm mostly caught up. But it's done the dramatic conflict well. Like, in terms of beats, there's been, shocking moments. But at the same time, this is what I mean, that it's kind of boring, because her as a character she's not really fun. She's not really interesting or teasing. Her struggle is basically, I'm too good, I don't want to alienate people, but I'm also really nice. I don't think she's that interesting. So that tends to be the case with Euphonium. Even if we disregard the issues I have with its fundamental relationship, I find that it often takes the most boring path it can. I don't know if it is that it's not zany enough for me. Usually Keanu manages to do things, and I'm not opposed to more grounded, subtler things. But, I tend to find it boring. That's what I tend to do. And I do find it with this season as well. It's not horrible. I never find Euphonium horrible or anything. It's just kind of, That's where I'm at. So, where will we put it? We put it in B. It's alright. It's alright. Next one I have is scientific, a certain scientific railgun. Season 1, that is. Fun. Trying to see what I have to say. What I have to say about this one. It's mostly a slice of life, mixed in with some, contrary to what it says, scientific railgun. Well, actually, sci-fi. That's not contrary. Science fiction, scientific. Yeah, it's a sci-fi / action, but mostly slice of life story. So these 4 girls, if there are stories, they're usually like in mini arcs, and with maybe they meet up with like specific students that have like issues, but there's not some big story arc yet or anything, so it doesn't tend to go too serious. But that's fine. I like that was one of my favorite parts of Index as well, when it was less complicated plot, and it was just kind of fun, breezy. The characters get to enjoy each other and goof around. That fits me the best when it comes to this specific franchise, at least, or this certain franchise. But yeah, I like this one. I wouldn't say it's especially great at anything, but it was a fun watch. I probably put it in B as well, honestly. Probably on a similar level. What do I have next? Windbreaker. Windbreaker is very much a. I don't know if I should. Well, I'll get to them when I get to them. There are certain shows where maybe I should explain the premise for people who have no idea what they're about. But this is about a delinquent school. They're good delinquents. They like protect the town as like they go around and make sure that people don't do bad stuff, and they help old people and do community stuff. It's nice. But then there are rival schools where some of the delinquents might be bad, and then sometimes they fight to like over territory, stuff like that. It's your usual delinquent manga. This is very much a boys show, if that makes sense. Um, most of the drama comes down to resolving it through your fists. Yeah. Usually, they fight a bit, and then, yeah, I mean, in real life, you don't resolve interpersonal conflicts with violence. I mean, that doesn't tend to not usually work. But here, it lends to catharsis, and they become friends afterwards, and yada yada yada. It's your usual. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't think the conflicts or backstories are especially complicated. Sometimes even underdeveloped, where they during the climax they play like soaring music. Or is it Sawano who makes the music? I think so. He makes some like insert song, and it's a bit much. It doesn't feel earned because the conflict isn't that interesting, or we just got introduced to it in the same episode. So it's a simple show, but I like it. The boys are cute. The shirt, they don't tuck in the shirts when they fight, so you get to see their abs. That's always fun when they jump and kick and stuff. Yeah, it's a fun show, but it's a simple one. I had my eyes on the manga for this one actually before I started watching the show. Not sure why, probably just because it was vaguely popular and I had heard of it. But given that before I started the show, I thought, oh, this is a manga I kind of had my eye on. I was expecting a bit more than just this, but it's fine. I didn't consciously, care too much about my expectations, so it's fine. I put it a B as well. It's a fine show. It's fun. Sankarea. Yeah, very gorgeous illustration there. This is it's a show about this girl who, throughout her childhood, is sexually abused by her father. Not necessarily, well, it is abuse. I was gonna say it's not physical abuse in the sense that he touches her, but for every birthday he takes pictures of her naked, to document her growth, and then he's very controlling. And you can't have friends, you can't go out whenever you want. Don't go near any boys. So she basically tries to free herself from that by meeting up with this boy that she happened to bump into. This boy is a protagonist, and he's obsessed with zombies. And a thing or two happens, and basically she dies, but she's revived as a zombie girl. And then it's kind of a fun little story about that. It's a weird show. Sometimes so weird, it doesn't always work. Like, it can be very tonally back and forth all the time. Sometimes it's really serious, sometimes it's very not serious, that's not the right word. Sometimes it can go from the mood that, oh, this is all kind of slice of life comedy wise, and then another mood where she's very zombie like and needs to eat. Or it's complicated to explain. I don't know how I'm supposed to, but the tone shift didn't always work. It felt like it was a bit too confused itself for what it was trying to, because sometimes it's kind of moody and melancholic, and sometimes it's devoid of any subtlety. So I'm not quite sure if it figured itself out, but it's an interesting watch. If I had a caveat other than the one I just mentioned, it would probably be it tries to sort of redeem her father, in the sense that her not boyfriend, but her boy space friend says, I might need your help in the future because I can't, take care of her on my own, and then expects you to be there, he says to her father. And he it's not a full-on redemption, but it lets him get off a bit. And they try to present it as yeah, he gets to stay in her life basically. No victim should have to have their abusers still in their life. So I think there was an offbeat. You shouldn't have done that. She should have cut herself off from him completely. There's this thing where he's not attracted to the wife that he's married to, and and we see there comes a backstory when he's young and he meets a bunch of young ladies and he's never attracted to them. By young ladies I mean like 20s and upwards, but young 20s, early 20s. And then he meets a 15-year-old girl and he immediately falls for her. And it's like, oh, okay, so he's a pedophile, or a pedophile. Whatever, who cares? Well, pedophiles do probably to differentiate themselves. But anyway, so he marries her. He has her kid, and that's this lady. Again, is one of those. It doesn't really condemn him as much as they should. And there's still, because I downloaded the Blu-ray I torrented it. There's this little Blu-ray extra where they actually show the naked pictures that he took of her throughout her years. They skip maybe every third year, they jump ahead, and you don't get to see it's not porn, it's tastefully done, if that's possible. But I kind of feels like this is trauma for this Ria girl. And then the Blu-ray is, I know, yes, the Blu-ray is explaining that because the audience wants to buy it for that, but that's another thing. I condemn the audience for that. Like, what's wrong with you, Yeah, but anyway, that's outside the story. Long story short, a bit tonally confused. It kind of redeems her abusive father, which it shouldn't have to do, or shouldn't do. But overall, it's a very interesting watch, and I thought it was mostly a show full of smart writing and great direction. So I really don't have that many complaints. But for the complaints that I had, I wouldn't put it in A. I'll probably put it in B. We should have a B tier in between, but we don't, so we put it there. Godzilla vs. Kong. We might as well just go through the monster movies now. I watched the first Godzilla movie a while back, like last year, maybe early fall. That's almost a year ago. No, wait, it's June. Sorry. I thought it was August. Anyway, yeah. So, but I've watched that already, so that's why it's not here. I didn't skip it. I've also watched Shin Godzilla. I liked Shin Godzilla quite a bit. Wasn't too as keen on the 2014 Godzilla, like the American movie. But I still thought it was good. But anyway, the first one that I watched here, we watched Kong Skull Island. We can search up what I have to say. I had something to say about it. Oh yeah. Kong Skull Island, very corporate made film with boring and flat characters, but it looks good and has some fun stuff. Also puts Kong himself at the center of a big metaphor for mankind's drive for warfare. It's not subtle, but it gives the movie some texture. Yeah, it does have some thematic stuff. Again, it's not subtle or clever or especially by any other metric if I had to compare it to any other thematic work. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's not poorly done. It gives the movie some texture. I like the direction. I think it looks good. I think it was fun to go through the jungle with the different animals there and explore the culture with the humans that live there. I like the music montages. I thought for a monster film, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good King Kong film. I've only seen one King Kong film. It's this one. But I liked it. I thought it was good. But again, not great, so B. We'll see if we get anything in the other tiers. What do we have after that? Oh, yeah, this one. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This one was not good. It was too overstuffed. Too many monsters. And it got a bit difficult to believe in it too. Because we had this aerial shot of Washington, D.C. and the White House and yada yada. And it was destroyed. Obliterated, like everything was burning. It was just magma all over the city, and I was like, all right, well, how the hell is the United States of America supposed to function after that? And I was interested, is the next movie going to be like exploring, like they said, it would be just post-apocalypse and try to rebuild. But no, the next movie is just normal, like nothing happened in the previous one. Or like life seems to be working. Like she goes to school and has activities as a yeah. It's a weird one, but I think it's too much. It was too overstuffed, so I got a bit tired of it in the end. Yeah, it's okay maybe, but I thought it wasn't that good, so we'll put it in C. Lower tier. It's not awful, not actively like, oh, that was a terrible movie, but a bit, yeah, that wasn't great. What's the movie after that? Though, what's the movie after that? What's the movie after that? Did we have it up here? What the hell is it? Oh, right, it was this one. Godzilla vs. Kong. Better, better. Trying to remember what I think of this one. I thought it was good. I had a bit of a difficulty believing the black guy. I don't remember his name. He's this podcaster who made podcasts of his discoveries as he infiltrated his job. Then he was like telling the public internet about it, and then like, how does your job not know that it's you? Like, it's public. They can just, it feels like you didn't modify your voice or anything, so it got a bit too hard to believe that he's as smart as, or like smart or capable as the movie wants us to believe in. So I just got annoyed. And then there was some line about him taking tips from Nazis, and it was supposed to be a sort of remark in a negative light on him, but at the same time the movie glorifies him for the rest of it, so I don't know what to take of that then. Even if they try to mock that particular comment, I don't know. But the monster fights are cool. We got to see the Inner Earth, that was cool. So it's fun. It's fun. Would I put it? Yeah, I put it in B. I put it in B. Please note that I'm not quite comparing Godzilla vs. Kong on the same level as like Sankarea. But if we compare like these movies in their own respective category, then it would be a B tier. But it's like, you can't compare like a B tier B tier fantasy novel with a B tier sitcom. Like, they won't necessarily be in the same level in actuality. It's just B tier in their respective groups. Yeah, so you think, like, I like Sankarea comfortably more than I like this one, but they're both B tier. So excuse me. What do we have next? Yes, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I watched this one in theaters. Good. Surprisingly good. I thought it was probably kind of not ideal, but like, I don't have any. I think like one of the issues with the previous Godzilla and Kong movies is that they focus too much on the human people in terms of like the military. Like, they have military talk, and they there's a lot of flying in their helicopters, and get a lot of like techno babble military stuff. And it gets boring and it's not personal. Then you don't see enough of the monsters. But here we pretty much immediately go inside the inner Earth with a small group of people. Most of them not active military like men. So we don't really have military technobabble stuff. We just a small group of people with King Kong explore inner world, inner Earth, and then finding specific like monuments and stuff. It's fun. We actually get to explore the setting, and that's always the best possible way I think you could do these specific movies, the Monsterverse. You actually like, you move from place to place. That was one of the things that made Kong Skull Island so good, instead of just taking place in like a modern setting. It's just the military fighting against monsters. That's not as fun. It gets boring. But this one was good, and there's this fun, crazy climax where it's like anti-gravity, and the monsters fight against each other and try to jump off falling boulders to get to the portal. And these two slam each other against the pyramids of Giza. Fuck. Giza. I got it right the first time. I mean, Gaza is in Palestine. They don't have pyramids. Yeah. Anyway, fun. I think it was fun. Where would I put it? I put it in B. It's a fun monster movie, but it's not great like movie in general. What else do we have? We have the Haikyuu movies. I watched the Haikyuu recap movies because I was supposed to watch the new Haikyuu movie in theaters, but a thing and two happened because I have a busy life and sometimes stuff happens. So that didn't happen. But I'm gonna try to catch it in theaters this week instead. But I did watch the Haikyuu recap movies. They're fun. What did I say? I have something to say about this. I said, yeah, having watched all Haikyuu recap movies now, I don't feel that any of the seasons are significantly better or worse than all the others. This is a series that never blows me away, but also really disappoints me. It always has a rock solid quote to fall back on, and that's what I. Let me take a drink, but that is what I feel with Haikyuu. Probably always stays at a sort of strong 7, sometimes goes up to 8 with specific highs. But it's usually the characters are endearing. It's a straightforward sports shonen. I don't think it really ever does anything that interesting. The ball arc in the first half of season 4 was interesting for Hinata's character, but other than that, I'm not a big fan. But I am a little fan. I like it. I like it enough. Let's see. I think we can just put all the recap movies here. B. I don't feel like any of them differentiated themselves that much. I mean, yes, sure, season 3 is better than season 1, but like in general quality, Haikyuu is around the same for me. Maybe it'd be a light 8 instead of a strong 7 or something, but you know, that's... What the fuck is the last one? Is it on here? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, that's what that is. What else? Blue Archive, the animation. My only new impression of this one is that it looks kind of bad. I don't really like how it looks. The poster looks good. The opening and ED both look fantastic. Like, when I watched it, I was like, wow, this is a high production value, so I'm excited for this now. Apparently, it's a completely different theme that made those, because the show looks nothing like that. It looks kind of like crap. And I don't really find the girls that I don't really care for her or her. Even her. Kuderas are very hard to nail for me because they have to be fun. While still being Kuderas, right? You can't just... She's just so boring. She never has any facial expression. She never like does anything whatsoever. And it's not like you have to have... Oh, so Kuderas are only fun when they show emotion and are not Kudera-like. Not necessarily. Remember Nagato Yuki from Manako ni Haruhi Suzumiya? She never showed emotion, except in the movie, but that was a other version of her. But the fun thing with her was that she was this like super advanced alien or android or something. I don't really remember. So she could do like a bunch of... She was like the best at everything. You know, she's never played guitar before, but of course she can shred it like crazy, and she can... do hack really good, and so they get to exaggerate in those circumstances, but she never really shows emotion or anything, but they give her quirks like that. That's fun. She doesn't really have any quirk, this girl. So that's... it's boring. I think it's boring. I like her because I like pigtail tsunderes, and I like her because she's sweet. I don't care for the big oppai One-chan or the flat-chested Loli-chan. So I don't really care. I'm gonna finish it because I started it, but it's in C. Demon Slayer. Oh, Hashira training arc. I've been told, I found it on Twitter that the last episode that I watched adapted one chapter. Oh, no, not one chapter, one page for a full episode. Obviously, they didn't just drag the sentences out so long that they talked in slow motion, but they added stuff. I think it worked fine. It works fine. I mean, that's a good... If you want to add stuff, that's probably a good, place to add stuff in between. Because there's a bit of a time skip in that page. Like, from when he arrives at a place and then when he leaves. So you can add stuff and show what he did before. But the reason why the manga didn't do that from the start is because you don't need to show what happened in between. It's irrelevant, really. It's implied enough because it's not... You don't actually need to show it. But since we're padding... Demon Slayer, the anime at least, feels very just corporate made. like milking it so much because they want to make as much money as possible. And I mean, obviously, they're doing well, but I've gotten bored of it. Since season 2, 3, since season 2 with the whole Shibuya, not Shibuya. Anyway, the sister and brother demon, you know what I mean. So I put it in C. I've heard the next season is supposed to be good, so maybe we can watch that. Oh, maybe we can watch that. I mean, we'll see when I get there. But yeah, for now, this is very. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, Rakugo. Oh, how do we begin to start? We should start with season 1. We should start with season 1. We should explain season 1 is good. It's very good. I had a bit of a difficulty maybe connecting to the characters a bit. I was unsure if maybe it was because a lot of their emotional character stuff is told through Rakugo, and the Rakugo performances themselves, not even the performances, the stories are really, really boring. Like, really fucking boring. I mean, sometimes some of them are like, it's not even that they're boring, and I'm just sit there like, oh my god, at the end. It's more just, that's not funny. Like, the cast lost, and I'm like, I mean, that doesn't really. So sometimes you have to sit there and it's like, this is okay, or like, I'm not really following along with his Rakugo because I stopped caring if a minute in, but it's like sometimes the Rakugo goes on for like 10 minutes, and you get to the end, it's like, it was mildly amusing. Like, I might have, like, once, but anyway, point is, I don't really find the Rakugo stuff as good as the characters in the show obviously does. Maybe that's just me, I don't really like Rakugo, or is that the particular Rakugo aren't actually that good, because the voice actors probably aren't actual Rakugo performers. So, because most of the thing that I don't really care for Rakugo overall, but it's good in its character stuff. We have the tragic love triangle and the mystery, and we know how it's gonna end tragically, and how do we build up to that, and it's very good. It's not something that I connected with especially, since I think some of it gets lost in how it's written, for me specifically, in how I connect with stories, not a flaw in itself, but I thought it was good. Well, I mean, it's A. Do we put it A, actually? Fuck, I need one more. I can't. S is like where I put One Piece. But again, this is in the respective, like, this is in terms of what I have on this list. If we took it in any other month where, for example, I had read One Piece, I wouldn't put this right underneath, because that means One Piece is like a 10 out of 10, and this one is a 9 out of 10. I gave this a 7 out of 10 score. A strong 7. But a 7 nonetheless. So you have to take into account, this is like, we just comparing this month. You can't take, so what I have in A tier for this month and what I have in A tier for that month is equal to me. It isn't. Yes, yeah, let's say. Season 2. For most of Season 2's run, it was very good. I thought it was significantly better than Season 1. Well, maybe the first half was a bit missing some of the momentum and interest that I had in Season 1 with the whole love triangle and the tragic end and stuff. But by the second half, it consistently delivered like really strong character moments and emotional beats. So yeah, most of Season 2 is very good. And then it manages, I've never really seen a show do this before. It manages to fuck it all up in 2 minutes. That's it. Because it reveals a twist in the span of 2 minutes that recontextualizes everything, and suddenly I'm disgusted beyond belief, and everything that I just watched is ruined. I will have to dig into spoilers here, because I promised that I would talk about this a bit more in detail. So if you haven't seen the last episode of Rakugo Season 2, skip ahead to the next media that I discuss here, but I will have to discuss this twist. So it's revealed that Konatsu, Shinosuke, Konatsu's son, is the father to Konatsu and Yakumo. Of course, why this is so gross is because Konatsu is the daughter of Yakumo. Not blood relative, but he did raise her, practically. He is her guardian, he is her father figure. And they fucked. not just once. I mean, it's implied they did it regularly, like multiple times. I mean, otherwise, what a fantastic chance or opportunity or like coincidence. You have sex once and then boom, baby. I mean, some mothers or people who want to be mothers would pay for that. So it's implied they did it often. I have some notes here. This might be taken from some discussion forum, or I wrote it myself. I can't remember. But I agree with it either way. Yeah, there are all those father-daughter scenes between Yakumo and Konotsu. Now the lover-lover scenes. And Yotaro had a child with the same woman that his master did. And it's not even up to debate. Like, they presented it as kind of ambiguous, maybe, maybe not. But then I looked into it, and there's an Omake chapter. The Bravista Konatsu had a crush on Yakumo since she was around 15. So she had a crush on her dad. Why? Fuck do I know. Also in the Omake, the Yakuza boss states that he wouldn't touch Konatsu since she's a kid, and out of respect towards Yakumo. So that pretty much rules out the Yasuka boss as Shinosuke's father. It can't be him. Season 2 episode 8, Yakumo says that he owes the Yakuza boss debt. A debt of gratitude, and the boss says he's gone as far as he has because he can keep secrets. It's like, okay, what debt would Yakumo have to the Yakuza boss? Well, then the Yakuza boss take the fall in pretending to be the dad. And in season 1, Yakumo saying to Sukeroku's ghost, paraphrasing about what I've done to your daughter. That's like, that can't mean taking care of her or like whatever. That means, I've fucked her. I fucked your daughter. And of course, the resemblance between Usuke and Yakumo. I mean, that's there's so much evidence to this. And you might think, oh, okay, but the counter evidence is pretty strong too. The counter evidence is that it doesn't make sense. And that's why this twist fucks me up so much. Not solely, but sort of. Because you're right, Yakumo never showed an interest. I mean, he wouldn't even be with Miyokichi. So that's like, okay, my interpretation was he's in the closet. He's a homosexual. He's gay. Now it turns out he's in the closet, but because he's a pedophile for pedophilia, not homosexual, he couldn't get on with Miyokichi because she was not a woman. No, I mean, Yakumo did, if he had sex, he did have sex with, it did have sex with Konotsu. It was when she was an adult, but he raised her and saw her grow up, so, that's, but yeah, no, I mean, he didn't have sex with her when she was a child. But I think let's take the position that it's not true. Okay, it's not 100% confirmed, it's like 99% confirmed, and then I talked with fans, and fans had two positions. Either they liked the twist and said that it was canon, or they hated the twist, but they realized that it is kind of canon, so they have to cope and lie to themselves that it isn't. I think that's messed up. I think you should own it. You can't pretend it doesn't exist. That's pretending that the show is better than it is. If you consider it a big flaw, then own it. Say, yeah, this is a big flaw. Yeah, this is like 99% chance of being canon. And that ruins a lot of stuff for me. I still like all of this other stuff, but you have to like own it. But let's take the position that it's not true. That means that Konotsu, because there is some sort of, the reporter, or like the guy who presented the theory to Konotsu, he is known for making up stories a bit about Yakumo, right? He's a bit fanatical about him. But then he presents this to Konotsu, which essentially means that he is accusing her of having sex with her guardian, with her father, the one who raised her longer than her actual dad did. So that's like, okay, if I was Konotsu, I'd punch him in the face. Like, that's a disgusting accusation to make, seemingly like for fun, because he presents it as like, oh, I have a theory, yeah. But then Konotsu, she sits there and she chuckles, and she's like, maybe, maybe not. A woman never tells. And that's like, laugh about that. I mean, you were a victim, Konotsu. I mean, even if this was true, this should be trauma. If this isn't true, then he's accusing you of having sex with your dad, and that's disgusting, and you should get pissed the fuck off. But it's presented as this very light moment. They laugh about it, and then after those 2 minutes, they move away. They move on. They don't examine the implications of this. They don't talk about it. They don't do anything whatsoever. They move on. And that's like, you can't drop this on us and then not... Because I couldn't focus on anything else throughout the final episode. Because now I was just thinking, did Giacomo... Like, I'll say it, rape. He did rape her. If he did, it's rape. He is in a position of power over her. He is in a position of authority. He has been able to groom that position, even if not consciously, even if I'm doing the best possible interpretation here, even if he didn't consciously groom her so that when she was an adult he could have sex with her. Because of the parental dynamic, he is in a position of power. He can't ever take advantage of it because it will always be exploitative. It will always be abusive. No matter how, like, oh no, but actually I'm okay with it now that I'm an adult. No, it will always be like, you can't. And even if you try to, I mean, you can make stories about complicated stuff. I mean, brother sister, that's certainly the better incest. Again, not blood incest, but you know, I mean, come on. You can take stepbrother and stepsister, but you grew up together, or like whatever. You know, you can write a story about that, and you can even like not have me grossed out. Like, I'm not in here really grossed out by incest. Like, that's whatever. Like, I'm not even... if a friend of mine came up to me and said, hey, turns out I really, really love my sister. She loves me back. May I have your blessing? No, but, like, you know, and confesses that to me. I won't go, you're disgusting. Never speak to me again. I would be sympathetic. And I wouldn't be, you know, don't do that. I would, if I had to oppose it, I would do it like out of something like, you know, this would be really difficult for you socially. Is it worth it to potentially fuck up all your relationships with other people? Or could you like just wait a year and you find another girlfriend who you love more? Like, you know, but got off my point here. My point is, I'm not opposed to writing stories about this stuff. It's fine. You can write stories, you can explore how it's fucked up, you can explore how it's complicated, and it's still love there, yada yada yada. It's a bit more difficult though with father-daughter, because you can't really make that work. Because of the position of power. It will always be like that. But again, you can write a story about it, that's fine, let's explore it. I mean, I'm happy to it. The thing is that they don't. They drop it in us in 2 minutes. If it wasn't true, why the fuck would they imply it? Why, in God's name, whatever his name is, why would they put it there? That's what, yes, it doesn't make sense with Yakumo's character, because again, he's never shown, when I watched the show, I never got any sort of romantic interest from either of them. But then I checked through scenes of the manga, and it was like, they're kind of hinting at it here. And then it's like, that only makes sense if they did. So it's like, But again, so it has, and I talked to fans, we're all basically in agreement that yeah, it probably did happen. It doesn't really make sense if it didn't. But my point is, even if it didn't, why would you ever imply it? Why would you imply? Why would you tease it in a 2-minute segment? Why would you talk about it lightly and happily? Why would you make jokes about it? And then why would you just leave it without being examined? That would spoil, like that's what, here's, you know, because we had sweet father-daughter moments with them before. Like, here's this show, sweet father-daughter moments, they reconciled and, you know, and hugged before he died. And then the last finale you say, but what if he was a rapist? What if he raped his child? Maybe, maybe not. And then you just leave it. It's like, what the fuck? Why would you, I mean, did he or did he not? If he did not, why would you imply it? So obviously he did. And that's positive for me. Because now I can't see him in a good light anymore. His final death scene was all about, you know, we're supposed to feel sympathy for him. And now I can't help but feel he raped his daughter. Like, every possible scene of them together now, it's just ruined. It also tramples them. I get, if I had to guess why the author did this, I think it's because they wanted Shinosuke, the Konosuba's daughter, they wanted him to have some of Sukeroku's DNA or blood and some of Yakumo's DNA. They kind of symbolize like the two Rakugo paths converging and moving forward into a new generation. Like, it's not just one of them. Both survive technically together in him, co-joined. The thing with this is that you basically trample all over Konosuba's autonomy in doing this, because now her entire purpose is to make a child for this thematic like tool or like purpose. Because, well, it's not her entire purpose. Well, It is, because the rest of you trample all over her. Like, she is in love with her dad, and it doesn't. Oh, it's so bad. I've never seen any twist this bad. Like that late and so quick in the room and everything. So I mean, it was a reactionary ending in general, because Yakumo wasn't. He was adopted into like the family. He wasn't blood related. So why is it so like focused now on like it needs to be a blood relative that moves on with the blood of the two into the new generation? And then there was another. Let me pull it the fuck up. I was very pissed off when I watched it. I actually ranted about it with my dad, and he hadn't even seen it. Here's something. Look at this. Okay. First of all, this is the scene with the Yakuza grandfather. Yasuga dad. Yasuga boss. Giacomo says, I owe you more than I could ever repay. I'll always be happy to listen when you need someone to grumble on to. Yes, you don't need to worry about that. That's all in the past now. And I wouldn't have come in life quick when I married. Oh, yeah, okay. I owe you more than I could ever repay. That's like, what does he owe? But anyway, the point that I was actually going to bring up is this. This is the guy who presented the theory, and he said, and so I investigated, as is my nature. It seems that a father and his adopted daughter can't marry, even if they dissolve their relationship. But well, without a blood relationship, if they live together long enough, who knows what feelings might arise? That's a really gross thing to imply, that like blood is what protects them from abuse. When in actuality, most children who get raped by their blood relatives, like by parents or an uncle or something like that. So again, a lot of, blood is important to carry on. Blood protects you from abuse, etc., etc. It's really reactionary stuff. And again, it's boring to Konachi's character. I can't ever see Yakumo in a good light anymore. Which is fucked up when the series has presented him and given him really sweet moments, a really happy, nice farewell. And now I can't think about what he did. Yeah, so it's deep. I think it's disgusting that it happened. It's even more disgusting that the show didn't bother examining it and just laughed about it merrily as if it was okay. And yeah, no, I mean, I guess that's the danger with recontextualizing twists, because it will change the entire story. But fuck, man, I've never seen it fail this badly. Especially because before this, it didn't have any misstep. Like, I might have said, oh, this doesn't really vibe with me as a person, but like, as in narrative decisions, it was basically flawless. This is the one thing I have no idea why she did that. I have an idea. Again, I talked about it with Two Bloods into the next generation, but fuck. Oh god. I mean, moving on now. Fuck. It's sad and disappointing to see that the Rakugo fans still like the show. You can still like the show, it's fine. But that your defense is, oh, I just cope. Like, I just pretend it isn't there. Fuck that, own it. I mean, yeah. Anyway. What else? I see this here, but I want to talk about the main show first before that. If I can fucking find it. Here we go. The Tatami Galaxy. The Tatami Galaxy. We had a little... we can just do Fuma Media instead. Oh, that's not good. So weird when you can't... What's going on? Oh, I can't search for... Okay, I have to go here. It's so weird when you search for, like, with your name, and then it can't find anything that you've said about it. It just starts showing other people. Like, no, you just say no results could be searched. Anyway, let's find this fucking thing. Oh yeah, this. Nope. Never mind, that's not it. What the hell is it? I know I showed it. Okay, it's not that. I know that. Give me a minute. I'll find it. It couldn't have been. It must have been really soon. Oh, here it is. Yes. Oh yeah, Watashi locks himself in his room to prevent any negative experiences, but by doing so, also prevents himself from having positive experiences too, or any experiences. It's in the last episode tomorrow, so we'll see how the show puts things together, but Felix is relying on particular ways of resonating with the audience, but this isn't really doing it for me. And then if we go to here, I said, it's always interesting to compare because I was by the end here and I looked at episode discussions on Reddit and people were talking about how it hurt to watch and how it hit home so hard. I definitely didn't feel that. It's not even that I can't relate to being introverted and having periods when I need to go outside more and take more social opportunities or whatever, but it's already relying on me to go, fuck, I see myself in that so bad, doesn't do anything for me. Like super fun presentation, charming all around, but it boils down to a pretty simple message with a fairly repetitive structure that wasn't so effective for me as it probably was for many, so it's just a good show to me and that's it. And then Amsir said, good friend, I think it's more about being depressed and introverted and letting time drift. I think a lot of people felt that during the pandemic too. As it really works out, but since I haven't been depressed, the relatable aspect that I would have to cling on to would be the introversion. So I guess my issue with the Tatami Galaxy is more so that it's not really, it relies on me having to really identify with Watashi, because if you can't relate to Watashi, then this probably won't do anything for you. I have issues with narratives that focus so much on just relating to like the ideas behind this experience, and then presenting us in a kind of abstract and metaphorical way that leads up to this big message, which is like, take more chances, go outside, you know. But I thought it was a good show. I liked what it did. Absolutely, you know, I don't want to like trample over it or anything, but it was, you know, people give a 9 and 10s, you know, I'm just explaining. I don't really vibe with stories that are constructed that way, because I need more personally, or in a different way. So that's why but you know, I put it in A. It's a very good show for what it is, and I did like it. I did enjoy it a lot. Then I watched Night Short Walk on Girl. We can look at this too because I just recently. Oh fuck, Bang Green clogging up my timeline. Here we go. Insanely imaginative stream of consciousness, but it's missing the structure and purposefulness that Tatami Galaxy had, which makes this one fitting a bit of a show to get through sometimes. The sexual harassment apology also doesn't help. I watched this with my dad like 2 days ago. It's one of those. I mean, it's very creative. I mean, it's Yuasa, so visually it's creative. It has this huge, like, insane climax. So that's all good. But it was going on for too long, where it was just crazy, random stuff happening, and it was fun at first. And I'm not gonna say it wasn't crazy enough to be entertaining on its own, but and it's only 90 minutes something, but it became a bit of a show, and I was kind of just hoping for it to end and get to the point already. A point that Tatami Galaxy had already done much better. And yeah, there's sexual harassment apology with this man gropes her, and he gets beaten up like one punch. But then, you know, she treats him kindly afterwards, and like even thanks him for other stuff. But and that's one of those, you know, don't play it off for laughs, or like don't treat it as unserious as it is. So yeah, it's okay. I'm putting a C. Watch it for the visual feast. It's insane. And that. The Tatami Time Machine Blues. I love this one. Very unexpected actually, but I really like this one. I didn't expect to. I think I talked about this, but I think one of the reasons the Tatami Time Machine Blues worked better for me than the Tatami Galaxy was the Tatami Galaxy was about, you have to relate to his experiences, enjoy like taking the time, unnecessary amount of time to get to the point by doing a repetitive sort of abstract metaphorical way presenting his issues and then leading up to like a message. This one is different because it wasn't like that at all. It's about this group dynamic, the same characters, but now they all feel fully fledged. It's not just Watashi, it's all of them, and they have certain dynamics with each other. These people like each other. These people do these sort of jokes with each other. Very smart dialogue. It's not about they find this time machine in their closet, and then they travel back one day and immediately fuck it up, and then they have realized, oh, we have to go back and make sure that the past is consistent with the present. And it goes like, there's an extra episode 6. I didn't care for that one, but the first 5 episodes is all about that, and it's twists in every episode that how they're gonna resolve that, and things just get more complicated. It's really clever. It all works together well. It's really funny, and like I love the interaction. It's very witty, and it's good. It's just a show with really strong characters in a really timey-wimey creative plot. I was very pleasantly surprised, and I rather adored it. And I wish I had more time with them. I would watch a slice of life with these. S. Again, in respective to this month. One Piece is 9 out of 10. This is like a decent 8. But, you know, in respect to... Yeah. Oh, what else? Mission Yozakura Family. It's okay. It's about this spy family. Not that one. He marries into it to, like, protect this girl that he likes. You know, maybe there's a bit of traditionalist, you know, the girl has to be protected by her siblings and husband. But whatever. I mean, it's a fun show. And they're girl spies too, so, you know, whatever. It's okay. I don't have any strong feelings for it altogether, but it's fun. It's an enjoyable one. But I put it in C. No, because C I would have active problems with it. I put it in B. It's fun. Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon Meshi is an interesting one as... How should I push this? I am vegan. There will be nuance to this, so don't just click away, but I am vegan. I'm not just vegan, I'm militantly vegan. I consider it a very important part of my personal politics. I consider it a moral obligation, and it's also, eating plant-based is also just the best healthy diet for you, according to science. So, here's the thing. It's not as bad as it can be with this particular aspect. Because if you are in a dungeon and to survive you need to eat other animals, I think it's morally okay. I think it's morally... When I think it's immoral is when you have other options, like you do. You don't have to buy that meat at the supermarket. You could buy a plant-based meat and it tastes basically the same or whatever, or just buy something else. You don't have to even eat a burger, even if it's plant-based or not. So you have other options. They don't. I understand. If you're a dungeon, it's eat or be eaten. Kill or be killed. So I get it. That's fine. It's fine. I don't have anything against that. Also, you know, it's not like they're eating animals, like real animals. They're eating demons. You know, made up ones that are supposed to be kind of nasty. I mean, again, I don't think that's an excuse in the real world to just, if you had other options. But again, I understand in the context. The issue that I have is that it takes such enjoyment, because the whole, like, the basic hook of the show is cooking the monsters. So if this was just a show where we acknowledged we need to eat to survive, but then they didn't really focus on that and just went along, then it would be fine. I wouldn't have any problems with it. I'm not like roast out on such a level. I mean, you can take One Piece, for example. I know that One Piece eats meat, but it's not a show about eating meat. It's just a show about pirates, and they explore the world, and sometimes when they eat meat, but they just treat it like oh, they're eating now. It's not like some kind of carnist joy out of killing the living beings who want to live, and skinning them and cutting them and cooking them and enjoying them. That's like that's what grosses me out about it. It's a very carnist show. Like, this is an author who would probably, you know, really, would be a farmer. Like, you know, oh yeah, I'm cozying up here with this pig, but I'm gonna enjoy slaughtering it and putting it up on the table and feel like, yeah, this is my own hard work there. You know, I think that's gross. It's not gross in that I get grossed out by watching the pictures. I mean, it's the drawings, but I get grossed out on a moral level. I think the show shouldn't push that moral forward because I think it's immoral, and I think it should explore other viewpoints, either way, to be a better, more nuanced story. Or if there are vegans in the setting, how do they feel about it? Note, I am 15 episodes in. I'm a bit behind, but you know, I don't think it's fundamentally gonna change. But maybe they'll introduce a vegetarian or something. We get to see that, but the ultimate stance would still be against that. But anyway, here are the nuances though. It's just one part of the story. It's the most superficial aspect, because what I enjoy about the story is the mythology and the dungeons and the exploring and the adventuring, and then the characters. The characters are adorable, absolute goofballs. So silly. I love them so much. God, I wish they were vegan, but it's okay to save my babies. So that's one of those. I think that's what's so good about it. Yes, it would always be immoral to me, but I'm not grossed out on it. I just think it's gonna prevent me a bit from enjoying that, but that is also its most superficial aspects. It's not a big hurdle, you know. If this was like justifying real life animal agriculture, then I'd be like, okay, this is actually like problematic. But this is a fantasy world, fantasy monsters. It just enjoys it a bit too much than it should. Even though I understand that it's necessary for the characters to eat, it just shouldn't enjoy the process so much. That's my thoughts on this. But I would put it in A. I think it's a really good show. Otherwise, like beyond that, I can enjoy it. It was not like I'm sitting, looking at the meat and I go, oh god. I just go, alright. Come on, move along to the next, you know. So it's a bit of a hurdle, but it's good. It's a really good show. We'll leave the Bang Beam stuff to the end. Spice and Wolf. I should note, there are 4 shows that are not on here that I have watched. I am watching a new Doctor Who season. I have some fundamental complaints to how it's doing things, but very good overall, especially Dr. Bubble, the latest episode. That was fantastic. And then Train to the End of the World, Girls Band Cry, and Jellyfish Comes Through Midnight. My favorite seasonals, but I'm kind of waiting for this final month so I can binge it a bit more. That's what on here. Anyway, Spice and Wolf. I'm enjoying Spice and Wolf. I'm 6 episodes in, so I'm behind, but I'm enjoying it. But I'm realizing I don't actually care about what it's about. I don't care about the economics. I don't think most fans do. Like, I enjoyed their relationship dynamic. Well, actually, I just find Holo cute. He's kind of whatever. But, so that's like, it's fine. And I like Holo. Why do we always get cute anime girls, but we don't get cute anime boys? And, like, they should both be cute. I shouldn't just, like... I don't doubt that he's a good character or anything, and I'm sure the relationship would grow, but I wish it was as immediately appealing. It's not the worst. I mean, yeah, I can. He's a bit older, a bit handsome, gruff, but yeah. Anyway, I don't care about what it's about, but I like Hollow. It's fine. Where would I put it? I put it in B. I like it. There's some fans that have said, "Oh, I really enjoy how it breaks into medieval economy." I'm like, really? You do? Okay. Anyway, then there's Go Deuce Ranger. It's also okay. Interesting premise. I like the... I haven't seen the boys, but the Homelander like superhero. I don't have any thoughts, honestly. It's fine. I enjoy it, but I don't think it's... whatever. B is just, I enjoy it. C is like, I have problems, but it's fine. D is like, bad. Oh, Index. Oh. Index. The issue with Index is, it's not as good as Railgun, because his characters aren't as appealing. I mean, but it's the same characters. Well, Torment's the main character, and he's kind of dull. I spoke about this earlier. I said there's such a difference between the fan service in Railgun and the fan service in Index. The Railgun emphasizes Misaka wearing shorts beneath her skirt. And the Saturn's habit of flipping Uehara's skirt up is weird, sure, but we do not ever get to see her panties, but Saturn sees under her skirt. For the lack of a better word, it feels like Railgun's fan service is more rooted in the personality of the characters, just a shower scene here and there, or whatever, but we're talking generally. Kuroko wearing and revealing outfits is in line with her character because she wants to attract Misaka, the girl she has the hots for. Index fan service happens basically in every episode. It's always unintentionally harassing the girls and being generally invasive. Water gets their clothes wet, Donna walks in on them, the girls get angry or cry, and the camera lingers. I think that's why the fan service in the Index bothers me so much, when I don't really have any strong feelings for it either way of Railgun. You can watch the combo I have with Tsukimida, Makoto. Anyway, he had some good points. I didn't really feel like getting too much into it, because my fundamental problem is still, it's generally more invasive to his characters than Railgun, and it happens in basically every episode where it's a bit more constrained. in Railgun. So yeah, if the impact of reading would be there's a particular scene where Toma walks in on an index and she's showering in like this open shower in like a tent, and she doesn't like get angry or bite him like usual. She weeps. She just like starts crying, and like I felt bad. Like, oh my god. But you know, in the next scene, they've already forgotten it. No lingering shyness or anything, so whatever. The actual plot is just whatever too. I don't really think Index works the best when it has complicated plots. I think it works best when it's just simple and spending city time with its characters. But now most of the city time was interrupted by fan service, so yeah, didn't like that one. Oh, getting a headache. I watched the movie. That was also that was there. It was just poor. The Grimm Variations. These are alternate takes on classic stories like Little Red Riding Hood or Cinderella. I like the ones that were as closely related to the original stories as possible, like Cinderella, and it's Cinderella who's evil, not the evil stepsisters, for example. That's a fun twist. But some just had the vague name, like the same name as the story, but it's like so far removed. And then I didn't really care. And it's alright. I like that these sort of shows are getting made because Netflix funds them, but I don't remember anything for Katanagatari. It was just early in the month. I didn't care for it. I never ended up caring for it. I don't really have any specific criticisms. I just thought it was boring. Didn't really care for the characters. Didn't really care for the plot. I didn't care. Sometimes that's all you can say. Then not care. We're skipping these ones because I'm gonna take Bang Dream in one go because I don't feel like I have to discuss every Bang Dream entry by itself. Idoly Pride. Idoly Pride is a weird idol ship because it started out with this idol working with her best friend, a boy. Oh, not best friend, but best friend as her manager. And then she gets big as an idol, and then she dies in the end. And then at the end of the episode, she comes back and haunts him as a ghost. Like she haunts, but like she sticks around, makes jokes. And then the rest of the series is about the guy who's alive, like managing an idol group that partly has the sister of the dead girl, the sister, but it's just very weird. The dead girl doesn't like as a ghost. She's not relevant anymore. One episode or two, like I don't think she says a single line. So it feels like two different shows. Kind of like that somehow like they shouldn't be together. It was weird because the first episode was interesting, and the rest is just any old idol show. So I don't know. I'd put it in. See. 22/7. Wow, it's just another idol show. I love Yukiko Horiguchi's character design. She's so good, but the show doesn't look good enough to do justice for them. It's an idol show. I don't know. I think we can just put it there too. Pacific Rim. I did not like Pacific Rim. Some of the mythology stuff was interesting, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of sexist too. Like there's this girl, Japanese girl, of course, because the white guy gets her, and as soon as the white guy enters, she kind of looks at him weirdly, and I was like, okay, but what's going on there? And then when he goes to change, she looks through her keyhole, and she watches him change, and we see his abs and stuff, and it's like, oh, like the defining character trait you want to do for your female lead is she finds the main guy hot. What a win for feminism. So that's like, I don't know, fucking. And then it kind of continues, and she has this obviously fake Japanese accent. And then she goes into this, her little robot, and she fails at it. And it's like, okay, so she wasn't suited for that then. But then they go into it the second time, and then it works fine. And she didn't really have to, like, get better or, like, even fail at first, but then she eventually managed to do it. She just immediately did it and it's fine, and then never focused on her first failure ever again. So, bad movie. Didn't like it. Looks good though. Cool monsters. Robot fights. A bit too much water effects, so we couldn't really see everything. But still enough. Let's see. Sandland the series. It's good old Toriyama. Fun, charming. Breezing through some of these because I don't have too much to say and my headache is about to burst. But it's a fun show. If you like early Dragon Ball, you'll like this one. I kind of feel like maybe it didn't need to continue after this half mark, but it's fine that it did. What else? Konosuba season 3. Konosuba is one of those, it make a pedophile joke in like the same episode as it makes hilarious use of extended silence. Still one of the best directed comedies around. If you didn't like any other Konosuba season, you won't like this one either. I like Konosuba. I find it funny, even if sometimes it's gross. But I can live with that. It's fun. I like it. We'll get back to these two in a bit. Kaiju number 8. Standard. It's just standard shonen. Nothing really interesting about it. Someone pointed out to me that the main guy is 30 years old, but he's still written like with the same personality that any teenage shonen lead would have. That's true. It's standard, normal. Doesn't look that great either. I mean, it looks good, but like it doesn't look especially great. So I actually don't like the look of the characters. It worked a bit better in the manga, but like I checked the manga, but yeah, it's alright. It's okay. Actually, no, it's there. But I put it up there, actually. I think I put that one up there. Konosuba is there, yeah. What else? Aria The Natural. I watched Aria. I finally finished The Natural after 5 months. More or less the same Aria. Often cute. Occasionally really beautiful episodes. Always endearing. It's a sweet show. I don't think this was especially better than season 1, but it's generally better than season 1 just because we got to spend more time with them and we got more different stories. Probably more interesting stories than season 1, but I don't really remember much of season 1. That's all I have to say. I like it. I'm excited for Origination this month. But I put it in A. I put it in B. What else? This is Shine Post. This is another show. And that's an impressive staff. Like, that's the writer of Macross, and then like the director of whatever Starlighter. And I think like the character designer of Macross or something, and then the writer of River Starlight, and then something. Yeah, another impressive. But it's It's maybe better than your average idol show, but it's not an especially good idol show, and it borrows a bit too much from Love Live in terms of like its characters and stuff and its general feel to it. Probably put in B. I liked it. I thought it was the better idol show that it used to, but yeah. Okay. I watched Minuscule. This is about this was a weird one because they introduced Jenna. What is she called? Jenna Ortega, that's her name, Jenna Ortega. She plays the main girl here, and she has this girlfriend, or like this girl who is her friend. But we introduced as kind of lesbian, but then they both wanted the attention of the male teachers, respectively. And it's basically about him trying to seduce her, and then he gets blamed by the principal as having taken advantage of her. Kind of didn't. It didn't really take advantage of her, unless that scene in the rain, the kiss scene happened. We don't know if it happened or not. It might have, it might not have. But overall, he didn't fuck her or touch her or anything, so it presents lesbians as this like predators, and like there was a woman who wrote and directed this. Like, what are you doing? It's bad. Genorica's agent needs, she needs a new agent. I don't actually find Genorica that good of an actress. Or like, she's good, she's fine, but I don't know what's so special. I think people just find her hard. Which she is. Okay, we have 3 like franchises left. First of all, Wake Up Girls. What's the original movie? It's not here. Okay. I forgot it. Well, that's fine. We can take this one. This is the series. The movie opened up with this group of girls, and then it was mostly a fine idol show. But then at the end, they didn't have anything to change into, so they just did it in the school outfits, and they twirled, and their panties were like flashing at several points. And they said, "Oh, well, it's fan service for the audience then." And it's like really gross. It wasn't even like sexy done because it looked like they're 12. The series tried to approach the idol industry in a in like a realistic light, which it mostly did. But then it kind of says, they had to in episode 2 they had to dress up as like in their bikinis and do a performance like that. And then one of the girls leaves, understandably. But then the other girls go and convince her that, it's still worth it being an idol. And it's like, really? It's worth it being exploited and sexualized and objectified so much? And then it's also like, why? Why do you want to be an idol? I never understand why these girls want to be an idol in like most idol shows. Like, I don't get it. Why? Like, you only get gross men who are your fans. So anyway, that was pretty bad. And then the last 2 movies were pretty rushed and bad and underdeveloped. And this new series, I dropped it, I think. I mean, I skimmed it at least. It looks like crap too. Anyway, that's the gist of it. Tries to do the industry in a realistic light, but then does apology for it. So it's here. It's pretty. Oh, actually, I put this one here. There was some more news there, but this stuff, it's here. In contrast, Girlish Number actually did everything that Wake Up Girls pretended to be. This is about a group of voice actresses, and they explore the industry, like the problems of the industry and how it negatively affects the people in the industry that work there. It's completely unsparing. It's ruthless. The characters are pretty bad people. Not all of them, but I mean, she's a selfish brat, for example, but she grows and she's sympathetic, too. And the end, like, result of it is the stance that they take is basically, yeah, we know the show sucks, the industry sucks, but I like you guys, the people that I work with, so let's make the best of it. I think it was a smart and insightful show. Maybe not a great show, but I can respect it, and I'm glad that it exists. Compared to like Ocean of Core, which just sells out and becomes a apology as well. I put it in A. 2 more. Megalo Box. First one was Megalo Box Season 1. It was a decent boxing show. Nothing really special. Didn't really focus on character much. Just carried my style in spectacle. It's fine. Nothing special, but it's a fine boxing anime. I will put it in B. The next one, Megalo Box Nomad, was a disappointment. The first 4 episodes are fantastic, spectacular. Explore like this immigrant storyline, and it's really, really good. But then it abandons that to become like a normal sports boxing show again, and they try to like push him back into the ring. Like the first 4 episodes were like, let go of the past, learn from it. You don't have to take these risks. And then the second half of the show is basically just get back in the ring. And they build up this climactic fight between Joe and this other guy, and there's no benefit for either of them to do it. So it's just like, if it leads to an immature message, it's thematically incongruent with what came before. But basically the thing is, it just became season 1 again. Retraced its old steps. It's very well written. It took the wrong direction. Spectacular first 4 episodes, but just because another battle boxing show again. And then finally, at last, we have Bang Dream. I finally finished all of Bang Dream. My go will be taken in October, or maybe December. But I ended up liking it, but not that much. Like, I feel like with season 3, is this one here. I feel like Poppin' Party really doesn't get much to do. Like, the first season, I was pleasantly surprised by the characterization, but now it was just don't really get anything to do. Tai isn't even really fun anymore. So I was I was a bit disappointed, I guess. They focused too much on Raya Sulian, that band. I feel like maybe the game. I'll try the game because I like the idea, but then yeah, I don't know. It was okay, but just kind of fun, I guess. Now with Roseli here, which I've mostly found other developed, though I like this movie a bit better. They're fun, I guess, but I don't really care for Roseli that much. Like Yukina, I know she's really popular, but she's one of those Kudera where I just find her boring. She doesn't really have any quirks. She's really monotone and stoic all the time. So what's the point? I like these three a bit better, but even yeah, these are, I feel like the game will do this better. I put this one here, honestly. I thought this one was really kind of weak, but this one was better. Orphonica I like quite a lot. Only 2 episodes, but new band, pretty strong characters, really endearing, really strong like hooks and quirks of the characters. I like this one quite a bit. Well, more fornication. I'm looking forward to seeing them more in the game. I put it in a B. Bang Grimm Film Live Second Stage. This one was actually kind of really awesome. It's basically just a concert movie. They do their songs. That's it. But it's really well done. And it especially got really hype by the end there. It looks great. But it was too long. Over an hour and 45 minutes. That's too long. And I started watching it like at 11 a.m. and I finished it like by 1. On 11 in the evening, and I started and I ended it by 1 in the night. It was too long. If they shortened it down, cut it down a bit, it would be great. But it's kind of fun. I put it in B. Then the movie I thought was surprisingly decent. It's basically a bunch of nothing like fluff, but it's fun fluff. They get to perform. They're a bit silly. Good gags. I like that she was scared of the planes. I thought that she wouldn't. Like, she feels like a character that, like Yui, wouldn't care. But no, or like would find it really cool to be up in the air. But no, and I thought it was not obnoxious. It was really cute that she wanted to hold hands, and maybe just liked it because she was quiet for once. Yeah, I don't really, yeah. It's fun. It was a fun movie. I'll put it in B, probably. And then this one is basically just 2 episodes over. The girls will get together to make one last concert for the 5th anniversary special. It was fun, but yeah, I would also put it in like B, I guess. It was okay. That's it. We can take a look at the TS. I should take a... Is it my position? Should I like take a headache medicine before I do this? But anyway, this is tier D. This is C tier. Yeah, this is like awful, horrible, really bad. This is like, yeah, that's not very good. That was bad, or like just kind of mediocre. This one was just fun, solid stuff, decent. This is like really good, and this was my favorite media of the month. I was surprised too that it was Tatami Time Machine Blues. That's what it was. Anyway, that's it. That's it for me. Would probably do a sort of, and I'll make sure that I'm a bit higher energy then. We'll watch all the trailers or the PVs for summer and the anime there. So we'll probably do that the 30th. And then you'll see me maybe the 2nd of July talking about June. And I have more high quality shows planned for that one. So, yes. We'll see you then.